grade 5, how are you? We're going to talk today about the respiratory system. The respiratory system, what do we need? Why do we need a respiratory system and what does it do? So first we need that to absorb oxygen and expel carbon dioxide. Your respiratory system works with your circulatory system to bring oxygen inside your blood and take carbon dioxide outside your body. Both together, the circulatory system and the respiratory system, they create the cardiovascular system. In the air, there are different kinds of gases. Dans l'air, il y a différents gaz. The most important one for us, it is oxygen. We need oxygen in order to survive. On a besoin de l'oxygène pour survivre. That means when you have oxygen and it goes inside your body, there are exchanges happening with your blood. Il y a des échanges qui se fait avec ton sang. Your blood has CO2. Ton sang a du CO2, du gaz carbonique. However, your blood needs oxygen. Inside your respiratory system, those exchanges are happening. Your respiratory system gives the CO2 and it is exchanged by oxygen that is going to go inside your body. En français, les particules d'oxygène vont rentrer dans ton corps, il va avoir un échange dans le système respiratoire avec le sang pour qu'on puisse rejeter du CO2 et reprendre de l'oxygène. Sans l'oxygène, on ne pourrait pas survivre. Très important, le système circulatoire et le système respiratoire font ensemble le système cardiovasculaire. Now, let's talk about different parts of your respiratory system. The first part, or the first big part, nose and mouth. The air enters this way and is warmed up. This is also where the dirty particles are filtered out of the air. Inside your nose, you have small hair. Thanks to that hair, the air is filtered. Like for example, if the air goes in, you're not going to breathe dust. You're just going to breathe air that is a little bit more clean than before. If you breathe through your mouth, you don't have the same kind of filter. So that's why we normally don't breathe in through our mouth. Then what happens? The second part is called the larynx. It's actually your throat. The air travels to the back of your throat. This is where your voice box is. The air makes your vocal cords vibrate, and this is how you can speak and sing. Inside, just right here, we have what we call the voice box. Thanks to the voice box, you can actually talk. Inside, you have really thin tissues. Tu as vraiment des tissus très minces. Those thin tissues vibrate. And because they vibrate, you can create sound. Then what happens? You have the third part. Sorry, may I just check? There's just some small mistake. Actually, no. The second part, we continue. Inside the larynx, we have something that we call the epiglottis. On a l'épiglotte. The epiglottis covers the esophagus so that you don't choke on the food that you swallow. This ensures that the air goes down the right tube. Inside, just right here, there is a division between the respiratory system and the digestive system. Il y a une division entre le système respiratoire et le système digestif. And that division, all right, that division is created thanks to the epiglottis. Donc l'épiglotte, qu'on vient juste de lire ici, l'épiglotte, c'est un morceau qui divise les deux tubes. It's a small tissue that it makes something like this, all right? So you have a tube. Let's pretend this is the esophagus, l'œsophage qui fait partie du système digestif. And you have the other part that is the trachea. This is the epiglottis. So at this moment, when my epiglottis is like this, I'm eating. Je suis en train de manger lorsque mon épiglotte est de cette façon. Toute la nourriture passe par ici. But then, when I start breathing, lorsque je commence à respirer, pouf, the epiglottis closes the esophagus. L'épiglotte ferme l'œsophage. And then l'air goes in your trachea. C'est là où l'air s'en va dans ta trachée et c'est la prochaine chose dont on va parler. The trachea. This is a long tube covered with rings made of cartilage, soft bone, to protect it. It brings the air down from the larynx to the lungs. In the trachea, you can find tiny little hair called cilia that clean the air you breathe. So from here to here, you have something that we call the trachea. The trachea is a long tube, and inside that tube, you have small hair. Those hairs are called cilia. Thanks to the cilia, you can filter the air even more, and you can clean the air. Tu peux le filtrer encore plus et le nettoyer. Number 4, the bronchi or the bronchial tubes. So the bronchial tubes, just right here, the trachea, la trachée, the trachea is divided into two parts. Those are the bronchi or the bronchial tubes. All right? After the bronchial tubes, there's these two whole parts that are called the lungs. Ce sont les poumons juste ici. Inside the lungs, à l'intérieur des poumons, your bronchial tubes, les tubes qu'on a parlé, the bronchial tubes are divided into what we call bronchioles. Donc on a on a les bronches et ensuite les bronchioles. Thanks to the bronchioles, you have a lot of different tubes going inside your lungs. And at the extremities, aux extrémités, at the extremities of the bronchioles, we have something that we call the alveoli. The alveoli are small, ce sont des petits sacs. Inside those tiny bags, we have the exchange between oxygen and CO2. There's one last thing that we need to talk about, and that's the diaphragm, and that's number 8. Number 8 tells you that just right here you have a muscle, tu as un muscle. You have a muscle that is called the diaphragm. Thanks to the diaphragm, le diaphragme, the diaphragm is actually pulling down. Chaque fois que tu respires, le diaphragme tire vers le bas. Lorsque le diaphragme tire vers le bas, ici, j'expire, mon diaphragme va vers le bas et mes poumons sont en train de prendre de l'expansion. So my lungs are actually expanding because the diaphragm is going and pulling down. When my diaphragm is just releases, there's no tension anymore. Lorsqu'il n'y a plus de la tension dans le diaphragme, mon diaphragme va se lever, my diaphragm is going up, and then I can actually breathe out. Okay? The last part, we're going to talk about inside the alveoli, à l'intérieur de l'alvéole. À l'intérieur de l'alvéole, c'est là où, c'est exactement dans cet espace où il y a des échanges d'oxygène et de dioxyde de carbone. Inside the alveoli, we can find the exchange between oxygen and carbon dioxide. Let's have a look at the picture just right here. As you can see, you have two colors. You have the blue color and you have the red color. On a deux couleurs. Ça te fait penser à notre système circulatoire de l'autre fois, n'est-ce pas? Yes, it makes you think about the circulatory system. The blue part, la partie bleue, that's blood, and the red part, it's blood. Les deux, c'est du sang. Sauf que, There is just one reason why we chose those colors. The blue part is oxygen with CO2. The blue part is blood with CO2. La partie bleue, c'est du sang avec du CO2. The red part, la partie rouge, c'est du sang avec de l'oxygène. The red part is blood with oxygen. So let's see what is happening. Blood with CO2, le sang avec du dioxyde de carbone, arrive dans l'alvéole. The blood goes in the alveoli. Then there is exchange, il y a un échange entre le dioxyde de carbone et l'oxygène qui se trouve à l'intérieur de mon alvéole. What happens here is that CO2 is given to the alveoli and the alveoli is giving oxygen to the blood. Donc l'oxygène passe de l'alvéole vers le sang. Et c'est là où on dit que c'est le sang rouge. That's when we say that the blood is red because it's full of oxygen. Donc, as a review, in the alveoli, there is the exchange between oxygen and CO2. Let's read some of the fun facts about the respiratory system. Quelque chose d'intéressant du système respiratoire. First, a normal human breathes 15 to 20 times a minute. Un être humain peut respirer de 15 à 25 fois par minute. If you force yourself to hold your breath for too long, your brain will force you to breathe. Si tu essayes de maintenir la respiration par toi-même, à un moment donné, le cerveau va dire tu dois respirer. If you took all the different tubes that you can find inside your lungs and you stick them end to end, it will measure more than 2,400 kilometers long. Imagine que tu as tous les tubes ensemble de ton système respiratoire. Si tu les mets un après l'autre, ça va te créer une distance de 2400 km de long. That means you have a lot of tubes inside your respiratory system. Every minute, you inhale approximately 6 liters of air. Approximativement, tu respires 6 litres d'air par minute. And finally, if you put all your alveoli together, you could cover a tennis court. Donc, si tu prends toutes tes alvéoles, let's pretend you open all your alveoli. Tu ouvres toutes tes alvéoles. If you put them one right next to each other, si tu les mets une à côté de l'autre, tu vas pouvoir couvrir un terrain de tennis. Alors, la superficie, il y a tellement d'alvéoles et il y en a tellement que si tu les ouvres une après les autres, tu peux remplir un grand terrain de tennis. Alright, now, in the next video, I'm going to show you an animation on how the respiratory system works. So you can see exactly how the air goes in, how the exchanges happen inside the alveoli, and then how the new air goes out from your respiratory system. So I hope this worked. If you have questions, please send me a message on Classcraft.